Ethan woke to the clamor of metal and shouting voices outside his window. His first thought was that the garbage truck had rolled in way too early, but as he rubbed sleep from his eyes and peered through the blinds, his heart sank. His backyard, his pristine, carefully tended sanctuary, was a scene of chaos. Rows of white folding chairs were neatly arranged, a flower-draped arch stood at the far end, and a team of decorators buzzed around, setting up what was unmistakably a wedding. He blinked, half convinced he was dreaming, but not his was real. And there, in the middle of it all, stood Linda, the self-appointed dictator of the neighborhood, barking orders like she owned his property. Ethan threw on a sweatshirt, stormed out the back door, and marched toward her. "Linda, what the hell is this?" His voice cut through the workers' chatter. Linda turned, her smug smile infuriatingly calm. "Oh, Ethan, you're finally awake. We were worried you'd sleep through the whole thing." "The whole what? This is my yard. Why is there a wedding set up here?" Linda laughed, waving a dismissive hand. "Don't be so dramatic. It's just for the day. My daughter's wedding, remember?" Ethan's eye twitched. "No, I don't remember, because no one asked me." Linda sighed, as if he were a toddler throwing a fit. "Ethan, we sent notices weeks ago. This is a community event. You should feel honored your yard was chosen." He scanned the chaos, his blood pressure spiking. A DJ was setting up speakers by his fence, a catering van blocked his driveway, and a portable toilet was being wheeled onto his front lawn. "I don't care about your notices. I never agreed to this. Get this off my property now." Linda's smile hardened into something colder. "Oh, Ethan, don't make this difficult. Do you want to be the one who ruins my daughter's special day?" Ethan clenched his fists. "I don't give a damn about her day. This is trespassing. You have no right." Linda raised a hand, cutting him off. "Actually, I do. Per HOA regulations, community events can use any suitable space approved by the board. And guess what? We approved your yard." Ethan's stomach churned. Linda and her HOA cronies had been inventing absurd rules for years, but this was a new low. "You can't just—" "Oh, but we can," Linda interrupted, her tone sickly sweet. "Unless you want fines for, let's see, an unkempt lawn, unapproved exterior changes, and parking violations." Ethan's jaw tightened. She was threatening him, and she'd already decided his yard was hers. He took a deep breath. He needed a plan. The wedding was hours away, with caterers unloading trays, florists draping arrangements, and bridesmaids snapping selfies by his koi pond. Ethan stormed back inside, his mind racing. If Linda wanted a fight, she'd get one. He grabbed his phone, weighing his options. The police? No, Linda had wrapped this in enough HOA red tape to make it look legitimate. He needed something faster, something to ruin her plans before the ceremony began. Staring out the window at the pristine tablecloths and delicate flowers, an idea, Sparkito wicked, brilliant idea. His property had an old sprinkler system, and used for years, with pipes full of rusty, foul-smelling water. A slow grin spread across his face. Linda wanted a wedding in his yard? She'd get exactly what she asked for. Ethan paced his kitchen, coffee mug in hand, fury simmering. He'd dealt with Linda's HOA nonsense for years, petty fines, ridiculous rules, but this was beyond insane. She'd turned his backyard into a wedding venue without permission, and she knew how to game the system to get away with it. He had to be smart, to hit back in a way she'd never recover from. Laughter outside made his blood boil. Through the blinds, he saw bridesmaids posing by the arch near his fence, some waving at him, oblivious to his lack of consent. Caterers set up tables with fancy dinnerware, and the DJ tested speakers by his porch. His yard looked like a bridal magazine spread, yet he was the only one not consulted. His phone buzzed. It was Mark, one of the few decent neighbors. "Ethan, I heard what's happening," Mark said. "I don't even know what to say. Tell me how Linda thinks she can pull this off," Ethan snapped. Mark hesitated. "You know her. She twisted the HOA rules to make it seem legal. Bullied the board into approving it. If you fight, she'll bury you in fake violations." Ethan rubbed his temples. "Then I need something she can't argue with, something legal that'll ruin this." A pause, then Mark lowered his voice. "You didn't hear this from me, but Linda didn't pick your yard just because it's nice. She blew the HOA's event budget on herself. There was supposed to be a real venue, but she misspent the funds and made up this HOA nonsense to cover it." Ethan's grip on the phone tightened. Of course, Linda wasn't just a tyrant, she was hiding her own mess. Thanks, Mark, he muttered. I'll make sure this wedding doesn't go as planned. He hung up, eyes locking onto the sprinkler controls in the garage. That stagnant, rusty water had sat in the pipes for years. One switch, and his yard would become a swamp. But timing was everything. Too early, and Linda would recover. He needed to wait until the guests were seated, the bride ready to walk. He'd make this a disaster she'd never forget. A knock at the door interrupted his planning. Ethan opened it to find a man in a tuxedo, looking uneasy. Hey, you must be Ethan. I'm Ryan, the groom. Ethan narrowed his eyes. You're marrying Linda's daughter? Ryan scratched his head. Yeah. Look, I had no idea about this. I thought we had a real venue. Didn't know it was your yard until today. Ethan studied him. He seemed genuine. So Linda lied to everyone? Ryan exhaled. Wouldn't put it past her. She's controlled every detail. My fiancée, Emily, wanted something small, but Linda turned it into this. Now I'm apologizing in a stranger's doorway for something I didn't do. Ethan crossed his arms. You realize you're marrying into this, right? Ryan gave a dry laugh. Trust me, I'm having second thoughts. He ran a hand down his face. I get why you're mad. If I were you, I'd be losing it. Ethan sighed. He almost felt sorry for the guy. I appreciate you coming by, but this wedding's a joke, and I'm not letting Linda walk all over me. Ryan nodded. Fair. Just maybe don't destroy the whole thing. Emily doesn't deserve that. Ethan shrugged. No promises. Ryan sighed, gave a nod, and walked back to the chaos. Ethan checked the time 2 hours until the ceremony. He grabbed his toolbox and headed to the garage, ensuring the sprinkler system was ready. He'd let them think everything was perfect, then strike when Linda was at her peak. The sun shone, guests arrived, and the wedding took shape as Linda envisioned except for Ethan, watching from his window, waiting to turn her dream into a nightmare. He sipped his coffee, heart pounding. The sprinkler system was primed, the rusty water ready. When Linda felt untouchable, he'd flipped the switch. Guests filled the yard. The groom's side chatted politely, unaware of the impending disaster. The bride's side was loud, entitled, mirroring Linda. Kids ran unchecked, trampling Ethan's flower beds. Linda greeted guests like royalty, never glancing at Ethan's house, confident she'd won. The DJ played soft music as the procession began. Bridesmaids stepped carefully down the makeshift aisle, the crowd watching with warm smiles. Everything was perfect. Ethan's hand hovered over the switch. Not yet. Linda beamed as Emily prepared to walk. The music swelled, guests stood, and Ethan flicked the switch. A quiet gurgle gave way to a hiss as the sprinklers erupted, spewing murky, foul-smelling water. Guests shrieked as their outfits were drenched in brown sludge. The spray soaked chairs, tablecloths, and the wedding cake. Chaos erupted. The DJ's speakers sparked and died. Bridesmaids scrambled, clutching ruined dresses. Elderly guests slipped in the mud. The white aisle became a swamp, flower petals turning to mush. Emily stepped into the yard, her white dress instantly ruined by a puddle of sludge. She shrieked, lifting the fabric, but the lace was stained beyond repair. Ethan watched from his window, a grin spreading. Linda's face morphed from joy to horror. She stormed toward the sprinklers, slipping on wet grass, then spun, locking eyes with Ethan's house. Ethan stepped onto his porch, arms crossed. Linda stomped over, mud splattering her heels. You did this, she screamed, pointing a trembling finger. Ethan shrugged. Plumbing issue, maybe? Should have picked a real venue instead of stealing my yard. You ruined my daughter's wedding. Linda's hands balled into fists. Did I? Last I checked, you never had permission to use my property. Emily, tear-streaked, turned to her mother. Mom, what's he talking about? Linda stammered as guests whispered, some recording the chaos. Ethan smirked. Oh, you didn't tell her? That this isn't a venue? That you blew the HOA budget on yourself and forced my yard into this? The crowd gasped. Linda paled. Emily's face twisted from heartbreak to fury. You lied to me? You said it was booked, that everything was handled. Linda floundered. Sweetie, you used someone's private property without asking? Emily's voice cracked. Ryan stepped forward, shaking his head. Wow, this just keeps getting worse. He turned to Emily. Your mom's controlling, and you always excused it. But this is insane. Emily's lip trembled. I didn't know, I swear. Ryan sighed. I need to think. This isn't just a wedding disaster, it's a sign. He walked off, leaving Emily in her ruined dress. Linda tried to regain control. Everyone, calm down. We can move inside. Ethan laughed. Inside my house. Cute. Get off my property before I call the cops. Linda's eyes burned, but she had no choice. Guests were leaving, murmuring about the disaster. Her secret about the HOA funds was out, and her perfect day was in ruins. Ethan leaned against his porch, watching the chaos unravel. The decorations were soaked, the cake collapsed, and Linda's empire crumbled. She shot him a final glare. You'll pay for this. He smiled. I think you already have. The next morning, Ethan surveyed his backyard, a battlefield of mud and ruined decorations. Wilted flowers clung to the leaning arch, broken plates and soggy napkins littered the ground. The silence was blissful. No HOA threats, no Linda sneering, no fines in his mailbox. The wedding had exposed her corruption, and the neighborhood was done with her. Mark had called, confirming an audit was coming. The HOA board was distancing itself from Linda, and talk of dissolving the HOA entirely was gaining traction. Her reign was over. Rumors swirled that she was planning to sell her house and skip town before the audit caught up. Ethan noticed Ryan in his driveway, hands in pockets, looking calm. Didn't expect to see you again, Ethan said. Ryan laughed. Needed closure, I guess. He glanced at the yard. This place got wrecked. Ethan smirked. You should have seen the mosquitoes last night. Think one carried off a bridesmaid. Ryan snorted. I don't know whether to thank you or be mad. You ruined the wedding, but you might have saved my life. It's over with Emily? Ryan nodded. She called this morning, but it's done. Her mom's controlled her life forever. That wedding was a wake-up call. Ethan chuckled. Linda would have had HOA rules for your marriage. Section 5B. Husband must obey wife's mother or be fined. Ryan laughed, then grew serious. Thanks, even if it wasn't for me. You saved a lot of people from a nightmare. Ethan shrugged. Just wanted my yard back. The rest was a bonus. Ryan grinned. What's next? Renting the yard for real weddings. Nah, I've had enough of that for a lifetime. That evening, Ethan sat on his porch, savoring the quiet. His phone buzzed a message from Mark. HOA meeting tomorrow. Final vote on disbanding. Bring popcorn. Ethan grinned. He'd be there. Across the street, Linda's door opened. She stepped out, oversized sunglasses hiding her face, clutching her phone. She hurried to her car, tires screeching as she sped off. Ethan leaned back, sipping his drink. Maybe she was gone for good. Peace at last, at least until the next neighborhood disaster.